Thanks for staying up later. We're joined tonight by Stewart Copeland, the drummer and founder for the Police. Now an ex-cop, I guess, is the way you can put it, and off on your own.
Well, no, actually, I'm still a cop. I'm an honorary lieutenant in the New Orleans Police Department.
What a fine honor that is.
Oh, yeah. Stops me getting speeding tickets all the time.
They decorated you on Bourbon Street and everything?
No, they just gave me a little card.
If you had to pick 2 or 3 police compositions, police recordings, what would you say would be the most prototypical ones? If someone said, all right, here's the time capsule, this is what goes in there of your work, make the choice, what would it be?
I would choose Message in a Bottle for the energy. I would choose Every Breath You Take for the clever simplicity. And what else? I don't know, you pick a tune.
Well, early on, you might take something like Roxanne, just because it was
okay, all right.
indicative of the early stuff.
Well, I would take Can't Stand Losing You, as a matter of fact, because I just like that tune a little better.
Now, both of those songs from your first album ran into some censors trouble, didn't they?
Well,
BBC
yes,
wouldn't play them or something?
Yes, there you go. As a matter of fact, that's true. I'd forgotten about that. Roxanne, because it was about a hooker, and Can't Stand Losing You, because it was about suicide. In fact, the single sleeve showed, it was a great sleeve. It showed me from behind with a noose around my neck, standing on a block of ice with a heater next to it, you know, which was fairly creative, I thought.
Did you raise a voice in protest and say, wait a minute, this is not an advocacy of suicide kind of thing? This is tongue-in-cheek, the message is different?
No, we were a punk group at the time, and we wanted to get up. We wanted to ruffle feathers and make it hot for people, and we were proud of the fact. We weren't looking for radio play. We were just looking to sell 2,000 records to our direct fans who came to the gigs. We never expected to get any radio play or to have any mass appeal. In fact, the more we irritated the BBC, the better we felt about things.
How did you reconcile eventually your commercial success with that sensibility early on, that idea that anything that came out of a garage and was angry and really appealed to about 20 people was good, but anything that sold 20 million records couldn't be good?
Well, when I bought my first house, my anger subsided just a little bit.
It has a way of doing that, doesn't it?
I don't know what happened. I still get a little irritated now and then, but I guess it mellows you out. It's amazing, you know, how you start out as a firebrand and then you start getting rewarded for your revolutionary fervor, and you become a lot less revolutionary. In fact, you become part of the status quo, and the status, you know, like if they knock the world over, what's going to happen to my, you know, my bank accounts or something, you know?
Didn't you recently
terrible
make a film kind of on your own where you you went around with and talking to young punks in
oh yes,
in Britain? Now, it's unclear to me, were these just punks in the classic sense, guys hanging out on the street, or were they punk rock performers?
No, they were punks with a capital P, punk rockers. In fact, I went on tour with 4 groups. One was called the Anti-Nowhere League, and the other one was called Cron Gen for Chronic Generation, and the others were called the Bathrooms or something, I don't know, something hostile.
Were they disdainful then of the police and the work you've done?
Yes, they were, yes. By that time, I was part of the old guard, but I got along well with them. I could still speak their language.
Life basically is sex. A bit of violence as long as you're not on the other end. Drugs. Silly haircuts, silly clothes, being really silly, being funny, laughing.
The days before the Police, before you'd hooked up with Sting, you're with a group called Curved Air, and you weren't above a bit of crass self-promotion.
Oh, boy, you've got everything. All the dirt. Well, I'm actually very proud of it now, although I kept it secret for many years. And the secret was that there's a paper, they're a very important trade paper called Melody Maker. It's a music paper. And I had joined this group called Curved Air that had been famous, and I joined it on its declining years. I joined it just as it was fizzling out, as a matter of fact. And I wasn't getting the attention I felt that I deserved as the newcomer of the group. In fact, I was in danger of getting fired every day. So every town we played in, I wrote letters in different handwriting on different papers saying, who's this incredible new drummer that Curved Air's got? In different ways. And some of them were, you know, like pseudo-intellectual. Some of them were just, that new drummer is great, or what sticks does he use? And just different things on different handwriting. and mailed them from every town. And sure enough, it appeared. It appeared on the Any Questions page. And they called up and said, look, we've had a question about you, tell us about yourself, who are you? So I gave them my whole life story with and everything, and they printed it. And it had a big picture of me with my drums and seeing through curved air as Copeland, because I had this glass drum set, and my whole life story. Well, the question was, what sort of sticks does this amazing new drummer use? Answer, I grew up in Beirut, my life was this, and I'm interested in this and that and the other, I'm this, And it was my first press. And I'm very proud, now that I've grown up, that my first public notice was self-generated.
I guess eventually the quality of your work, if it's good, or if it's not, its lack of quality will speak for itself and catch up with any publicity. But early on, any mention in a prominent place is perceived as a body of thought, a school of thought. One letter, one article becomes, in the next interview,
becomes a fact.
There are those who say,
exactly.
It makes no difference what they, one guy, one bozo
That's
said
it,
this thing.
that's it.
How do you respond to those who say? Becomes the next thing and it perpetuates itself.
Well, it becomes, things become facts that are stated. I can't think of any right now, but many times something is stated in one article and it becomes a fact. But really, in that instance there, it's just a question of when you're starting out. Just bring that spotlight over here, shine it on me. I got something to say. And if you got nothing to say, then you get laughed off the stage. And I didn't have anything to say in those days, but that was just the start of it,
When did you first run into Sting?
Well, now, I was playing with Curved Air at the time. We were up in a town called Newcastle.